Chapter 11. Behind the Walls. The deeds were hidden in the Tiddlywinks rule-book. In searching for the deeds to Saxby Hall, Stella's father, Chester, was sure his sister would empty the safe, ransack his study, even tear up the floorboards, but she would never ever look there. Of course, Aunt Alberta was a dreadful cheat at Tiddlywinks. The official rules of the game were absolutely of no interest to her whatsoever. She had her own rules, Alberta's rules, rules that she could change on a whim. The book had never even been opened. It was the perfect hiding place for the deeds. In the coal cellar, Aunt Alberta looked down at her niece. "Well, Stella, you need to have a good old thinky-winky about where those deeds are hidden." "I have no idea, Auntie." "So you keep saying. Perhaps after being left down here alone in the dark for a few days, you might just remember. Toodle-pip." With that, Aunt Alberta slammed the thick metal door behind her and locked it. This time she took the key out of the lock for safe keeping. She wasn't going to be caught out like that again. Stella listened to the sound of receding footsteps as her aunt climbed the old stone staircase back into the main part of the house. Without the light from the candle, the cellar was now pitch black. It was a pity that Stella was afraid of the dark. Still in just her nightdress, the girl crawled over to where she remembered the door was. Feeling with her hands, she found the handle, but it wouldn't open. It was pointless to even try, but Stella was desperate not to be left down here a moment longer. Next, she traced the edges of the room with her fingers, searching for any holes or gaps in the wall she might be able to scratch away at with her fingernails to make bigger. There weren't any. The floor was made of stone and had to be inches thick. "Ow!" She banged her head against a metal bucket, and then her hands found a mound of pieces of coal that had been piled up in a corner of the room. Defeated, there was nothing left to do but try and rest. Stella moved the lumps of coal around with her hands in an attempt to make a pillow for her head. Lying there, she began to softly cry herself to sleep. Just as the girl shut her eyes, there was a sound. It was the sound of someone or something moving around behind the walls. She had heard the exact same noise before while drifting off to sleep in her bedroom. Back then, when she still had Mamma and Papa, Stella would sometimes become so frightened she would run into their room. There her mother and father would give her a big cuddle, and she would snuggle under the blanket between them. They would gently stroke her hair and plant tender kisses on her forehead. Papa would tell her it was just a tiny mouse, or the rattles and clanks of the silly old water pipes. How Stella wished she could run to her parents' bedroom tonight. She would trade anything, all of her future and all of her past, for one last family hug right now. The sound was becoming louder. That someone or something was on the other side of the wall, but moving nearer and nearer to her. It was far too loud to be a mouse, and there were no hot water pipes or the like all the way down in the coal cellar. Stella didn't dare breathe. She thought if she didn't move or make a sound she might be safe, and whatever it was might pass. However, her heart was pounding in her chest. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It was going to give her away. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. In the silence of the cellar, her heartbeat seemed as loud as thunder. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Stella held her breath. Then out of the gloom she heard a voice, a child's voice, saying, "Help me!" The girl screamed in terror.